Hellos, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be a review on the Morphe x Lisa Frank palette. Now I know I'm a little late getting this up, but the first time that they launched this palette, I wasn't able to get it. It sold out like really fast, which is understandable. But luckily for me, they decided to restock the palette, which I did not think that they were going to do, but they did. And I was able to get my hands on it. So yes, y'all, I have a lot to say about this palette, like a lot. So if you guys would like to see how I got this look and my thoughts on the palette, then just continue to watch. so before we get into the review, I can just go ahead and give you guys just a slight background on this collection. Now, this is not the only thing that came in the Morphe and Lisa Frank collection. They did come out with sponges, a brush set, what else? And like some lip products as well, which eventually I will get the sponges and everything like that, but I was mainly excited about the palette, so I just wanted to hurry up and get that first. So yeah, so just to give you guys a little bit of background about who Lisa Frank is, she is the face behind the really pretty, just colorful and vibrant school supplies that she came out with like years and years and years ago. And I would always see these in like Walmart and stuff like that, but I just never gravitated towards it when I was younger. I was kind of like a tomboy, so none of this stuff like really fascinated me. But yeah, so she ended up collaborating with Morphe, and I just thought that this was genius. Like, it really gives a brand an excuse to just put out a palette that just has so much like vibrancy to it. So yeah, when I seen this collection, I was really excited, even though I wasn't like the biggest fan of the school supplies and everything like that, just considering that, you know, I was kind of like a tomboy. None of that stuff really fascinated me. So yeah, that's just a little bit of background of Lisa Frank and everything like that. So we can go ahead and get into the review. So the first category that we're going to talk about is the palette's packaging. So you guys already should know that I'm going to rate it 5 hearts out of 5. Like, the packaging is so freaking cute. It's so vibrant. It's so girly, and just, you know, it's just, I don't know, it brings back memories. Even though I was never really into this stuff, just seeing it, I don't know, it did. I always used to look at it and be like, oh, that's cute, but you know, never to the point where I would get it. It's really cute. I love the flap right here, and I can show you a little bit of like the details inside. So it comes with the mirror, a heart-shaped mirror, which is so cute. It says at the very bottom, this palette belongs to, and then you can just write your name on the bottom, which I really thought that was so freaking cute, because it kind of gives that feel of how her notebooks used to be. So yeah, I really appreciated that. They did put a lot of thought into the packaging. So yeah, I would definitely rate it 5 hearts out of 5 for that. So now we can get right into the color selection. Now, if you guys have been, you know, a fan of Morphe for the past, you know, like what, 5 years, 4 or 5 years, something like that, then you would know that this palette looks kind of familiar. And they did have a palette that was called a 35B palette, which I never got my hands on that. So they decided to just take that palette and put it into this palette, the collaboration with Lisa Frank, which I didn't really mind that. I didn't really expect like any new colors or anything like that, which is, you know, totally fine by me. I know a lot of people really had something to say about that, like, oh, you know, you guys could have been a little bit more original, but I didn't mind it, especially considering the fact that I didn't get my hands on the 35B palette the original time. So yeah, I really like the palette a lot. It's like, it is a rainbow palette, but it's not your typical rainbow palette. Like, it doesn't really have like a bunch of oranges or anything like that. It's like some hot pinks, purples, greens, and blues. Like, I just really like the color selection a lot, because it is the color of the rainbow, but it's not your typical rainbow palette, you know what I'm saying? So I really do like the color selection. And I also like the ratio between the mattes and the shimmers. So this palette does contain 27 mattes and 8 shimmers. So I really feel like that's a good ratio. I'm more of a matte kind of girl anyway. I can actually appreciate the ratio of this palette from mattes to shimmers. So honestly, I would give this category 5 hearts out of 5 for its color selection as well. Now let's get to the good stuff, the performance. Y'all, this palette really stressed me out. Like, I'm not even kidding. It really stressed me out, because it's a lot of factors that can go into what went wrong. But you guys should have already seen what I was talking about as far as its performance. It was just patchy. Like, I obviously, as you can tell by the look, I went ahead with a purple crease. And the only thing that's really saving this eyeshadow look, honestly, is my lashes. Because my lashes, they're, you know, they're actually flared out pretty much throughout the whole entire lash, but they're really flared out on the outer corners, and it's kind of covering where it's patchy at. Like, oh my gosh, it's just, it kind of made me mad all over again seeing it. Like, what? It's just, I don't know. It looks way better on this side than it does this side, but I honestly can't even tell you what went wrong. Like, this is the type of palette you're gonna really have to, in my opinion, like, find some sort of strategy or technique which what I feel like I'm coming to the conclusion of is basically you are just going to have to just pack on the shades and do the bare minimum of blending when it comes to layering the shades. The pigment is obviously there, like these colors are popping, but at the same time, you don't want your eyeshadows to just pop, you want them to blend. Like, so, and I know a lot of, you know, people have been getting into makeup, and that's the first thing that you hear when it comes to eyeshadow, like just blend, 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 but not with this palette. It's just, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about so you don't think I'm freaking crazy. But like this whole area right here, like you would think, like it literally looked like this while I was just using 2 shades. The first shade was okay, but then the second shade, it did not come on as if it was just 1 shade. One area would be its true color, and then the other area would be like, it will turn extremely dark. So I'm not sure. I did use a new eyeshadow base that I weren't gonna tell you guys about, and so I actually did like a separate video on it. You guys probably already know what I'm talking about if you're like familiar and keep up with, you know, the latest, you know, launches and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't really know, you guys, and I want to take into consideration that I have been using purple eyeshadows for this look, and purple eyeshadows are just, they're really hard to formulate, and they can be patchy and blend. But my whole thing is, it's just like James Charles palette would never, Jaclyn Hill's palette would never. So I'm just confused. Like, this is Morphe, Lisa Frank. Come on. I mean, I don't want to compare it too much because I know for a fact that Jaclyn Hill has a specific formula with Morphe that's even separate from her brand. But at the same time, it's just like, damn, come on. Like, I just expect consistency in a brand. I don't care if it's collaboration or not. I just expect consistency, and you know, James Charles and Jaclyn Hill palettes would never. So I don't know what was going on. I don't want to just give up on the palette, and I'm not going to, because you know, I didn't use a bunch of shades. But at the same time, I'm definitely going to take into consideration that this palette is just not the type of palette that you can just blend away for your life. And I'm so used to doing that, just blending and blending and blending. So it was kind of hard for me to not do that in today's look. But like I said, you know, this is my first time using the palette, so I wasn't really aware, you know what I'm saying, that I would just have to do the bare minimum amount of like blending. So yeah, with all of that being said, because the colors are vibrant, the pigment is definitely there. I love this look, honestly, you know, other than the little bit of patchiness. So I will give this palette, this is kind of bad, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. You know, because it did stress me out when I was doing my freaking makeup. I wanted to say F this whole entire video, forget the look and everything, but I'm glad I didn't, because I still feel like I was kind of able to save it. And I'm giving it a little bit of benefit of the doubt because this side doesn't look as bad. It doesn't. So obviously it's something that I can do that, you know, can save this eyeshadow palette and can save its, you know what I'm saying, performance and everything like that. So yeah, with all of that being said, I will rate this palette a 3.5 for its performance. So last but not least, we can go ahead and talk about the pricing. Let me see. I know that they were selling it at sale price the first time that they launched it, so I will expect them to do the same this time as well. But I can tell you guys the original amount. So the original amount was $30. I do love Manny MUA. He's one of my favorite like YouTubers on YouTube. So I did use his code, which is Manny MUA, to get like just $3 off. So my total came to like 27 something, and then plus like tax and shipping and all the other stuff. It was a little bit more than that. But yeah, so the palette is $30 on the Morphe website, and I believe it's still in stock too. Let me check. I wasn't even paying attention. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, the palette is still in stock. So if I were you, I would still get this palette, honestly. Even though I said that it could be a little bit patchy or anything like that, I still have to take into consideration of other factors. I usually don't use a set eyeshadow base. I use concealer for my looks, so maybe it will work better with the concealer instead of an eyeshadow base. So we'll just have to see and just keep on playing with the palette. I'm not going to give up on it completely. I still feel like you should get the palette just simply off its packaging, especially if you are a Lisa Frank fan, if you've, you know, collected her school supplies and everything like that she used to make, or still does. I'm not even sure if, I haven't even seen them in a long time, but yeah, so I would definitely take that into consideration and still get the palette if I were you. But you know, the choice is yours. Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys and you enjoyed the look. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys would like to see more eyeshadow palette reviews, then the end of the video, it'll show you all the ones that I already have on my channel. You can turn on your post notification bell. That way you get notified every time I upload a video, because I will be posting more palette reviews. I'm just waiting for them to come in the mail. So yes, you guys, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Comment below what you would like to see here on my channel, and I will see you in my next one.